The biggest difference between a untrained white belt and a trained white belt on their way to becoming a blue belt is the amount of time they have spent rolling and what that means to their nervous system. When a person first gets into jiu-jitsu and they're rolling for the first few months, their sympathetic nervous system takes over. And what does this mean? Even if you're in shape, your heart is going to be racing. All of your muscles are going to feel like they're doing a max rep effort, and you are going to feel exhausted, even though you don't even know why. The key thing is to be able to get time under this type of fight duress in order to be able to calm down the sympathetic response of fight or flight that takes so much energy. This new white belt that I'm rolling with, I think he's been around for like a month or two. He's doing a really good job of trying to make an effort of breathing and staying calm. The only way for you to control your sympathetic response, besides more time on the mat, is making a conscious effort to, one, breathe, and then also, believe it or not, laughing. The reason why you hear me laughing and we have such a great sense of humor in jiu-jitsu is because it releases, first of all, it's fun, but it also is a way to alleviate the stress elicited by being in a sympathetic nervous response of fight or flight. It definitely feels very high stress if it's new to you because you are physically fighting somebody, I'm literally trying to kill him right now. Like, this is the game. I try to kill you, you try to kill me. Tap before you die. Like this is this is the game we're playing. Of course, your body is going to react in that certain way. Right now I have him in a crucifix position. From a crucifix, there are a couple of options. One option is I could take my right leg and put it over his head, and that would result in getting an armbar. Or another attack that you could do is also a rear naked choke. And you could also, the arm that's between my legs, you could also complete an armbar from here. So there's a whole attack series that you can do. And right here, I'm going for the rear naked choke. The only way for him to get out of this would be to be able to get his right arm free. So that would be like step one of the defense, just in case anybody's trying to crucify you out on the mats. Having inside control is very important, whether if you're on the ground or standing. Inside control means when you have an inside tie, so you're on the inside of their arms, on their biceps, or on grabbing their neck. And it looks like he was trying to go for a guillotine, so that's great. He's implementing skills that he's learned and at least trying them on the mat. And I believe it looked like I passed his guard. Oh, I just crossed. It looks like there's some grapevine action, and I go to the left side. From the position of my feet, it looks like I am doing a head and arm choke. A head and arm choke is when you suppress the carotid arteries through your own bicep and their arm pressing up against their other bicep, reinforced by their shoulder and pressure against that shoulder. It's the same choking principle of a triangle that you would see from the supine position using your legs. Yeah, the sympathetic nervous system is something that nobody ever really talks about. When I'm rolling with a brand new white belt, I can always tell what they're feeling because they are breathing so hard and it's just fear-driven panic fighting. And as a white belt, it can feel very helpless because everybody knows a language and you don't know that language yet. You don't know the language of jiu-jitsu yet. So imagine being in a, you know, in a debate and they're debating you and you don't even know the language. You don't even know what's dangerous and what's not dangerous. And a blue belt in jiu-jitsu is extremely dangerous because they are a trained white belt. They have spent so much time on the mat. They're able to fight and control their sympathetic nervous system to be calm while doing that. So it intrinsically takes them less energy because physiologically their muscles aren't going through spasmic contractions that's caused by the autonomic nervous system. So a new white belt can't control the contractions of their muscles. They literally can't relax. Just relax, man, while I try to kill you. You know, like that's who's gonna fucking relax? So if you're a white belt, just remember, you know, try to keep calm, breathe, maybe make a joke. Laughing at situations is a great way to relieve stress. And one takedown principle that is seen in both a knee tap or a double leg is the ability to drive them sideways, like you're seeing me do here. And just with an extension of a hip, you can see that that takes him down. This principle is relevant in a lot of takedowns, including a knee tap or a double leg. Anytime that you hear somebody tell you cut the angle, what they're really saying is to change the vector from, let's say you're going head on, you need to change the directional vector, the direction of the force, which is a vector, by 90 degrees. So instead of them pushing them right through them like a blast double, you need to change the angle to a right angle like a traditional double leg. And right now I have mount. As a beginner, the number one thing to focus on is for things to not get worse. And he tries to bridge and roll to escape the mount. But here's the thing. When I mount somebody, I am always going for high mount, meaning I am trying to get my knees to his armpits. And what this does is this renders his bridge and roll less effective because his hips, I am not loaded on his hips. I am on his chest. Therefore, his hips have less of a force, and therefore the bridge and roll is less effective. So one thing, if you're ever rolling and somebody has you mounted is on top of you, use your elbows, press it against their thighs, their knees. That way they can't get to high mount and they can't sit on your chest like I'm doing to him. Right now I'm going for a mounted triangle. My goal is to get one leg over his shoulder, wrap it around the back of his head, grab it with my arm, and capture one head, obviously just one head, he doesn't have two, and one arm in between my legs so I can set up the triangle. An ounce of prevention is always worth a pound of cure. Preventing high mount prevents a lot of things from happening to you, like a mounted triangle. Right now I'm going for an armbar, and he is defending it by keeping his elbow. Oh, he wants to keep his elbow pulled and tucked basically to my butt. An extended arm is very high risk of getting an armbar, and then I transition to a triangle choke, which is suppressing the carotid arteries. In a self-defense situation, when you apply any choke in jiu-jitsu, they will pass out because of the suppression of oxygen and blood flow to the brain. And if you keep on holding the choke after they pass out, you can kill a person. So this is why I'm making these jokes about, the game of death. And here I go from the triangle and do a shotgun armbar to finish with a shotgun armbar. And I can already see an improvement rolling with him and how less panicked he is. I could still tell by how labored his breathing is that it's taking a lot of effort out of him. You can be the most in shape person in the world, but if your sympathetic nervous system isn't used to fighting for your life, which is what it feels like when you first start, because you literally are fighting for your life, you're going to feel tired quickly. And that's why this is such great training for self-defense, because you're trained to be able to react and fight in a situation of very high stress. So thank you so much for watching. If you have watched more than one of my videos and you enjoy spending time with me, I welcome you to subscribe, and until next time.